Hi, good day, class. This is B8219 class, and this is your orientation video. So this video is actually for my Tuesday and Wednesday classes. So I just decided to just come up with one video for both classes. All right. So let's discuss now the course outline. Let me just get it. Okay, this course outline actually is for my Tuesday class. So for my Wednesday class, if you look at the dates, just add one day. Okay, so if it's November 3, for example, for this course outline, for you, for the Wednesday class, it's going to be November 4. Anyway, the course is BA219, and the official title of the course is Corporate Financial Reporting, and the course description is as indicated in the course outline. It's a comprehensive study of principles and procedures in the preparation and use of published corporate financial statements. This is a very important course actually because it's a tool course that will allow you to appreciate your subsequent courses in finance. All right. Now, what are the course objectives? At the end of the course, you are supposed to comprehend financial statements of manufacturing companies and of firms in specialized industries such as banking, property, and selected regulated sectors. Um, you must be able to understand consolidated financial statements, comprehend financial information provided in the annual report of a trading or manufacturing company, and number 4, you must be able to analyze the financial condition, performance, and cash flows of a manufacturing company as a basis for management decisions and credit and investment decisions. And lastly, to determine the impact of financial reporting issues and alternative accounting treatment on the financial position and performance of a company. So our main reference book is actually Volume 1 of Philippine Corporate Finance, published by the Development Center for Finance and Phoenix PAXB CB Fund. So let me go through the course outline. So as I said, this course outline is for my Tuesday class, but for day 1, which is November 3, and that is today, for my Wednesday class, you just add one day, so it's November 4. Okay, so just, just to make sure we understand each other as far as the dates are concerned. So today I'm going to give you an overview of the house rules. We will go through them later on as I discuss this course outline. So we're going to discuss financial reporting standards, how to evaluate the company's accounting policies, and then I'll start with the discussion of the basic financial statements, and I'll start with the balance sheet today. Okay, but I'm going to prepare a separate video for that. Okay, for the lecture. So this particular video is mainly for orienting you on the entire course. All right. And then we'll talk about the accounting for inventories, investment in financial instruments. I just want to emphasize that when we discuss these accounts, it's not really the way it's discussed in an accounting class, but what I'm going to do is we are going to discuss the issues related to each of these accounts, like what are the issues that are connected with inventories or investment in financial instruments when we discuss each account, okay? So, and then we're also going to discuss investment properties, of course, PPE, liabilities, equity, hybrid securities. And what are hybrid securities? Well, these are securities that resemble the characteristics of both debt and equity. And this may include convertible bonds or mandatorily redeemable convertible preferred stocks. Okay. And then we'll talk about leases, and of course, the statement of profit or loss or the income statement. Okay. So when we talk about the income statement, we'll talk about certain accounting principles and what are the attributes of good quality of earnings. So when we discuss this part, I want you to realize that when faced with an income statement or the statement of profit or loss, you must be able to figure out whether the income of a company is of good quality or of poor quality. Then we will discuss the statement of changes in equity, the statement of cash flows, and I'm going to give you a brief lecture on the accounting for derivatives. Okay. And then for this class, we will have 4 cases. Okay, so I have the list already, but I'm still looking for the copies. I have the copies actually, but I'm going to have them scanned so that I can forward them to you later on. Okay. And then as discussed, okay, we will be discussing the financial statements of consolidated of conglomerates, okay, and in that regard, we will be dealing with consolidated financial statements. We will also talk about the financial statements of property companies and of banks, okay. And then the second half of the course actually is devoted to financial statement analysis. And this is where we discuss different tools, which include break-even analysis, financial ratios, trend analysis, vertical analysis, or common size analysis. And we will discuss the limitations of financial statement analysis. Okay. I have to tell you that financial statement analysis is a very powerful tool in analyzing a company, but it has its limitations as well. Okay. And then you'll have your cases and then your company presentations. This one, I'd like to explain this a little. There will be 4 cases actually in the course. But this class, each class, okay, I have 2 classes. Each class is going to be divided into 8 groups. But all groups will present. So how will that be? Okay. What happens is the first 4 groups, groups 1 to 4, they will present the cases. Okay. And then groups 5 to 8 will do company presentations. Okay. So what are those company presentations? So those are the companies that I will assign to you. Okay. This is how it goes. Okay. For the cases, the presenting group does not have to email me a written report. Okay, so all you need to do if you are a presenting group, you just need to email me your PowerPoint presentations and of course the video of your case presentation. I will discuss that later on, okay, when we talk about the case presentations. But if you are not a presenting group, then you have to submit a written report. Okay, all of these reports have to be submitted the day before the case discussion. Okay, again, there are rules on that in the subsequent pages of the course outline. Okay, so I have to make it clear that for cases, all groups will write the report unless you are a presenting group, in which case you just need to submit to me the video presentation and your PowerPoint materials. Okay, but all groups actually submit a written report if you're not a presenting group. Okay, now for the company presentations, this will be your paper. Okay, you just need to prepare one company analysis. Okay, but to make sure that there's going to be a lively discussion of each company that will be presented in class, I'm going to actually have 2 groups do the same company. Okay, so these are the matching of groups. Okay, groups 1 and 5 will do the same company, Groups 2 and 6 will do the same company. Groups 3 and 7 will do the same company, and groups 4 and 8 will do the same company. So how will this work? Okay, so the presenting group, in this case, let's say for group 5, you will do the presentation, and then another group, group 1, will do a critique of your presentation. So this is to encourage a lively discussion in class. So that means for the company analysis or company paper, 2 groups will do 1 company, but you are only going to do 1 company analysis. Okay, so if you notice, there will be 4 companies, but you will only do 1. Okay, so what will you do with the other companies? You just have to listen to their presentations, and of course, when they are presented, you can ask questions. All right. So now, let me go back to the case presentations. Again, there will be match or partners in groups. Okay, so like for example, groups 1 and 5 will, group 1, your counterpart is group 5, group 2, your counterpart is group 6, 3, your counterpart is 7, group 4, your counterpart is 8. Okay, so to make sure that there's going to be a lively case discussion, when group 1 presents the case, you will have a critique group. Your critique group will be group 5. Okay, so what does a critique group do? Well, you need to listen to the presentation of the presenting group, and then you should, I'm going to give you the first set of questions that you will ask. So you are required to throw the first set of questions. And then after you have exhausted your questions, then I'm going to open the floor for Q&A. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm going to ask questions. Okay? Along the way, if let's say there are questions raised by the critique group and I feel that there's going to be follow-up questions, then I may intervene along the way. And of course, at the end, if there are questions that I'm expecting the class to raise but have not been raised, then I will throw the questions to the presenting group. So the only reason I want a critique group to be there is to have at least 2 groups debating. Okay? And it's to encourage a lively case discussion. Okay. And by the way, the critique groups, okay, critiquing is not going to be useless, okay, because you'll be given points for that. So when I mark your reports, if I feel that you have raised very meaty questions, then I can add more points to your written reports. Okay, so that can improve your grade actually for that particular case. All right. So, and then of course we will have an examination. Well, for the examination, the date is true for both sections. Okay, so if you notice, I put it on a Saturday just to make sure it will not have any conflict with your other classes. Okay, so this early, I want you to mark that date. Okay, it's February 13th. So at least you can have the exam before you go on a date the following day. So at least you are more relaxed already, okay, on Feb 14. All right. Now, how am I going to be marked for this particular course? So this is the breakdown of your grade. The written case report is 30%. So that means if there are 4 cases, that means you're going to write 3. All right. And then for the company presentation or case presentation, so that will be 15%. So each group will present, okay? The first 4 groups, groups 1 to 4 will do the case presentations. Groups 5 to 8 will do the company presentation. So everybody is given an opportunity to present, all right? And then your paper for the company analysis, that is 20%. By the way, for company analysis, I'd like to emphasize that for the presenting group, for the presenting company on company analysis, On top of your PowerPoint and video presentations, you have to submit to me also a written paper. Okay. So I repeat that. Okay. For company analysis, okay, on top of the PowerPoint presentations and the video presentation that you will email me, you're also required to submit a paper. Okay. So that's the difference between the company presentations and the case presentations. Okay, and then for the examination, okay, so that will be 10%. The examination is actually a group exam. Okay, so that means you have to choose your group mates properly, okay, because you will need them basically throughout the entire course, okay. The entire course is basically based on group works, okay, and that is why, to prevent free riders, okay, I decided to actually assign weight on peer evaluation. Okay, so if you look at the breakdown of your grade, 20% is on peer evaluation. So that means your peers are going to evaluate you based on how much you have contributed to the group works, and of course how cooperative and diligent you are. Okay, so don't be a free rider. All right. Now, if you notice, I put a footnote on the peer evaluation. So let's just go through that footnote. How does that work? Okay, let me just go through it. For the peer evaluation, the average rating from the other members of the group will be multiplied by the weighted average grades of the group on group works, which include the case or company presentations, written case reports, assignments, examination, and a paper on company analysis. All right. So let me just explain that to you. If let's say the average grade you've got, it's a general weighted average by general weighted average, because if you look at the requirements, there are different weights. So it's not a simple average. But let's just assume that your GWA for your group works is, let's say, 90%. Okay. And then if let's say you are so diligent as a member of the group, your group mates gave you a grade of, let's say, the average is 100. Okay. So that means that 100% peer evaluation rating is multiplied by the GWA of your group work, which is 90%. So that means you can have what? For peer evaluation, you will get 90%. So if you notice, you can never have a grade under the peer evaluation, a rating higher than the GWA of your group works. So let me give you another example. Supposing your GWA for the group works is 90%, but your average peer evaluation rating is only 80%. So that means your grade for peer evaluation is 80% multiplied by 90%, so that will give you 72%. Okay, so I hope I made that clear. Okay, and then from time to time, I'm going to give you assignments. All right, and that those assignments, I hope you will do them, because they account for 5% of your final grade. Okay, now even if this is an online class, I would like to encourage class participation. Okay. Chances are the only synchronous sessions that we will have, where we will have live sessions, will be during case presentations and company presentations. But even with those case presentations and company presentations, we will only be focusing on Q&A, because, as I said, I'm requiring the presenting groups for both cases and company presentations to share to the class the videos of the presentations the night before the class. Okay, so that means there will be, so therefore the sessions, the live sessions will be basically focused on Q&A. Now, again, to encourage every member of the class to participate and to contribute to the lively discussion of those cases and company presentations, you can actually improve your grade. Okay, so if you participate in class, so that's why I put there, grades may be increased by a step based on outstanding class participation, but this is subject to the judgment of the teacher. So if you notice all of the components of your grades, and have a basis like written reports, case company presentations, etc. So that accounts for 100%. But if you participate actively in class by raising good questions or by sharing um, some of your opinions, okay, during the sessions or during class discussion, then I may decide to improve your grade. And I'll tell you, based on my experience last trimester, there are some students who have improved their grades because of active participation in class. And going back to peer evaluation, there are also groups whose members ended up with different grades simply because of peer evaluation. So, and I'll tell you, if you don't participate, your group mates will be able to figure it out. Okay, because chances are, at least based on my experience, the ratings of those who are not participating well are consistent. Okay, so your group mates know what you do. Okay, and so that's why I think I encourage everyone also to be diligent and to do your share in all of these group activities. All right. Okay, for that grade solicitation, you just read it on your own. I don't intend to discuss in detail. Now for the guidelines on case presentations and company presentation and written reports. So this is now the next part of our course outline. Okay, so for the presentation, this is how you should do it. Okay, so you start with the case context. Okay, so this covers a very short discussion on the important events that triggered the problems or issue in the case. Okay, and then for problem definition, if you notice, I highlighted the last statement where I said that the statement of the problem must be stated in question form. Meaning to say, I don't want your problem to be stated in a narrative form. And why do I want you to do it in question form? Because if you put your problem, if you state your problem in question form, you are forced to be more focused, okay? You cannot come up with so many problems. And I'll tell you, in case analysis, statement of the problem is a very important part of the case analysis. Why is that so? Because in case analysis, problem identification is very crucial. Because if you have not identified the correct problem, then I'll tell you the rest of your analysis will not be correct. Okay, so the same is true in business. Okay, if there is a problem, if you are not able to identify the root cause or the main problem, then you will not be able to solve it because you have not identified it in the first place. Okay, so therefore, when you analyze a case, I want you to spend time, okay, on identifying what the problem of the case is. Okay, because as I said, basically, if you have identified the correct problem, you have solved 50% of the problem because you have correctly identified it. All right. So, so I hope I have made that clear. Again, when you analyze a case, you have to spend some time identifying the correct problem. All right. And then, of course, once you have identified the problem, then your analysis should be focused on addressing that problem. Okay. And in making a decision also, okay, this is a lot of my students actually commit a mistake, okay, in making a decision. To avoid committing that mistake, before you write your recommendation, you read your problem again, okay? You read your problem again and take note that your recommendation, the recommendation that you are about to write, addresses the problem that you have stated. Okay, I repeat that, okay? Before you write your recommendation, try to read your statement of the problem again and make sure that your recommendation or recommendations will address the problem or the problems that you have stated. Okay, so You know, every class that I have, I say that, but from time to time, I still have groups of students who commit that mistake. So I hope you are not going to be one of them. All right. And then for your submissions, take note. For your submissions, you have to email. You have to email me using my Yahoo account. All right. I don't want my UP account to be cluttered with so many emails. So at least for my classes, I want you to email me through my Yahoo account. So it's there. Okay. And take note of the deadlines for the submission of the reports. It's a day before, all right, 5 p.m. a day before our class sessions. And for the video presentation for the groups, okay, so I'm giving you until 10 p.m. to submit it. And those videos have to be shared with the class, okay? So I have actually created an FB group, okay, for each class. And I guess we can submit the link through that. But for your PowerPoint presentations and written reports, you have to email them to me. All right. Okay. And then for the presentation guidelines, okay, prepare very well for your presentation. Okay. Your slides have to be eye-catching. Okay. Legible and uncluttered visual aids. That means don't put so much in each slide. Okay. And try to present your present your material or very well by practicing. So that's why if you look at the guideline there, so practice, I put it 3 times, okay? Practice, 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 okay? And the presentation should be smooth and polished, worthy of presentation to the board of directors, okay? Both in substance and in delivery. Take note also, I'm setting a maximum of 25 minutes for your presentation because I don't want you to talk too long, okay? Because I want you to plan also what you're going to present. So I'm giving you a maximum of 25 minutes for those recorded presentations. And take note of the last requirement for presentation. All members of the group must be present and must participate during the case presentations. So you must be present during the presentations, right? Now for the written report, okay, I want you to, when you write a case, you have to write it from a certain perspective, okay? So, but I hope you can select a point of view that will make a difference, okay? So what are the different points of views that you can consider? Well, you can talk about management, but even when you talk about management, you have to state what level of management are you dealing with? Is it the board? Is it the CEO? Is it the VP for finance? You have to be clear on that, okay? For the point of view, you can also be a stockholder, but even when you talk about a stockholder as a point of view, you can either be a minority stockholder or a controlling stockholder. Again, you have to state it. Okay. Now, if you are an investor, also, well, some will say you are an investor, but are you an existing investor or are you a potential investor? Okay, and then for creditor also, that can be considered as a possible point of view as well. It depends on the case. Sometimes a regulator can also be considered as a point of view, but there are so many regulators, so that means if you are going to consider a regulator as your point of view, then you have to be very specific which regulator are you going to assume. All right. So for the statement of the problem, again, just like for the oral presentation, so that must be in question form. And just like what I said in the what I said for oral presentations, your analysis have to address the problem that you have stated. And again, when you write the recommendation, read your problem again, okay? And make sure that your decision or recommendations will address the problem that you have stated, okay? Now, as regards the number of pages, take note, okay, the written report must not exceed 3 pages, but I can allow you to have some appendices or exhibits, but even those appendices or exhibits should not exceed 2 pages. So therefore, including the exhibits, the maximum number of pages that you can submit for a report is 3 pages. For the company analysis, that's going to be a different ball game. So I'm going to give you a separate outline, requirements for company presentations or company analysis later. But for the cases, body of the report is only 3 pages, maximum of 2 pages for the exhibit. So the maximum number of pages a case report, a written case report would have is 5 pages, and that includes the exhibits and appendices. Also, when you email to me your reports, whether these are assignments, case reports, or company analysis, make sure to indicate your group number. Okay? And then in the report, you have to indicate the members of the group. All right. So I hope I have made that clear. And then for the how to write the paper, the requirements, okay, you just read them on your own. Okay, so again, just like the presenting group, the deadline for the submission of the report is 5 p.m. a day before the session. And again, I want to emphasize you email me through my Yahoo account. It's there, okay? kayanan.arthur@yahoo.com. Okay? Basic course, general course policies. Okay, basic courtesy, there should be no recording of lectures and case discussion in class. Okay? You're not also allowed to distribute our materials, our videos to members other than the members of this class, okay? For consultations, well, I have classes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so that means I'm allotting Mondays, Thursday, and Friday for consultations. Okay, so but I hope you will set an appointment. Okay, so you email me or you send me a private message for if you want the group to consult. Okay. And then for the release of grades, well, the deadline for the release of grades actually is Feb 26, 2021. But if you notice, our final examination is on Feb 13, and I plan to release your grades by Feb 20, 2021 or earlier. Normally, I finish the grades earlier than the deadline I set for myself. And then after I email them to you individually, you have 3 days actually from that date to complain if you have any complaints. Okay, chances are, well, so far I think I've been teaching for decades now, and very seldom that I get complaints, okay, from the grades I give my students. Okay, but again, as I said, I'm giving you that opportunity. You know, I'm just human. I can also commit mistakes, and you know, if I make a mistake or committed an error in computing your grades, you have an opportunity actually to raise that complaint to me. Okay, all right. So basically, that I think completes the orientation. If you have any questions, I don't know, maybe I can, I'm not yet sure whether I'll have an online session initially for each class, but I'm still thinking about that. But definitely I'm going to probably give you another video for the first part of the course. Chances are today, before the end of the day. All right. So welcome to BA219 class. I forgot to welcome you when I started this video presentation. And I hope you will learn a lot from this course, and I hope you will enjoy the class. All right, so good luck and see you later, or see you in other live sessions and videos. All right, bye.